Where the Twisted Laurel Grows, series pilot number 1, July 4th, 1976, WMUL-TV, Huntington, West Virginia. This program made possible in part by a grant from the Rockefeller Foundation.
And we hope that you'll enjoy the music that we have lined up for you. We brought groups from all over, everywhere practically, from down in North Carolina, and from Virginia, from Kentucky, and from West Virginia. And we're here to celebrate our heritage, and we want to show the world our pride in it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to have with us tonight one of the great banjo-picking women from the Appalachian Mountains, from Lexington, Kentucky. Make welcome Lillie Mae Ledford Pennington.
My daddy, White Ledford, was a fiddle player and banjo player. Very good one, and I don't know how many credit to him because he was very much of a perfectionist in his fiddling, his banjo playing. And he played many, many, many old tunes, but he just could not sing. He tried sometimes, but in straining to reach high notes and get us kids all tickled, and he'd get mad and quit. He only had about half octave range in his singing. And so he taught us the words to him, though, would tell us the words to a lot of old songs, like those two I sung there, and fast songs, Old Joe Clark and Sourwood Mountain and all that, John Henry. But Mama, who did not have very much music in her to pass on to the family, she did know some old ballads. And though she may have sung them in an off key, they were awfully sweet to us because she'd sing them as she went about her work and rocking the babies to sleep. She had 14 babies, by the way. I'm the 7th one of the 14. And I've always heard there's something odd or queer about the 7th child. I don't know. But anyway, 4 of those babies died in infancy, and she raised 10 to be grown men and women. And they all played music, and she also raised an orphan relative, niece of hers, till she married, and everybody played music, usually the banjo and fiddle, because we didn't see a guitar till we moved further on down the river. Red River Gorge is where we lived, the one that there was such fuss over when they were about to dam it up, and I was in the middle of the fuss a year or so back. But anyway, we got to save and keep our river. Although I live in Lexington now, we were raised there on Red River, and we're hillside farmers. That was not quite far enough east to be in the coal mining section, so there was no public work, and so we were farmers and lived there on the river and fished and trapped and hunted and ate wild game to supplement our diet. picked huckleberries and dug ginseng, and had a very hard time, but had a very good time. Because we had our music, even though most of it was played on homemade banjo and an old pieced-up fiddle. We didn't know anything about any other music except what our daddy played and our granddaddy Ledford, who played the fiddle left-handed and the banjo right-handed. But when I was about 13 years old, we moved on down the river where the valley widened out, and there was a lot more families. There was a radio down there. There was 2 or 3 guitars, and there was some phonographs. Then we began to pick up songs of other people that recorded music, and also learned about the guitar. So that's the way it was with us, but we had a wonderful life, a hard time, but a good life. I'd like to play one of my mama's tunes. Now, she always said to us girls when we started the music, she was a very hard-working woman and believed in working plenty of it for everybody as a cure-all for everything. Said, there's one thing about it now, if you're going to start this music, you have to have it. I'm going to put my foot down on some of the songs. She said, now, you're not going to sing them old drunkard songs, and I'm not going to have you singing Frank and Johnny and Little Corey and Wild Bill Jones, none of that. And she said, I don't think it's very ladylike to be singing John Henry and Little Birdie and things like that. And I want to sing one for you that she handed down. And she thought it was wonderful, and it's called Pretty Polly, and it's got a murder in it. And I wondered, well, how in the world does Mama think that a murder is better than getting drunk? You know? I have to change the tuning just a little.
Willie, oh Willie, I'm afraid of your way. Willie, oh Willie, I'm afraid of your way. I'm afraid you are going for to lead me astray. Polly, pretty Polly, your guess is about right. Polly, pretty Polly, your guess is about right. I dug on your grave the biggest part of last night. Willie, oh Willie, please spare me my life. Willie, oh Willie, please spare me my life. So deep into her bosom I plunged the fatal knife. Stabbed her in the heart and the blood it did flow. I stabbed her in the heart and the blood it did flow. And then to her grave pretty Polly did go. I threw the dirt around her and turned to go home. I threw the dirt around her and turned to go home, and left pretty Polly with the birds to weep and mourn. Now to the devil a debt I must pay. Now to the devil a debt I must pay, for killing pretty Polly and running away.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are honored to have in our concert a legendary musician from Mount Airy, North Carolina.
with Barry and Sharon Poss from Durham, North Carolina, please welcome one of the greatest fiddlers alive today, Mr. Tommy Jarrell.
Well, for our first tune, we're going to play Soldier's Joy. Some folks called it Payday in the Army, and I've heard it called I Love Somebody. So you can take your choice. Well, tell them a little something about it then.
Huh?
Go ahead and tell them what I'm going to do.
The old-time fiddlers changed tunings to get the special sound they wanted for any particular tune, and that's something that's actually lost. Many of the modern fiddlers just tune in a standard violin tuning, but Mr. Jarrell, for playing in the key of A or playing in the key of D, will change his strings, and then there are particular tunes that have their own tuning all by themselves. And this is one of Mr. Jarrell's specialties, and I might mention in passing that Tommy comes from a very special old-time music family. His father was a great old-time fiddler and actually made a recording of this tune called The Drunken Hiccups in 1927. And I want you to listen to Mr. Jarrell's version.
I just hope I can sing it a little. In England, I've gambled in Spain, going back to Rhode Island, I'm gonna play my last game. Jack a diamonds, I know you from old. Rob my poor pockets of silver and gold. fiddle and a rosin bow, and I make myself welcome wherever I go. Jack a diamond, I know you from old. Corn, whiskey, and pretty women, they've been my downfall. They beat me and bang me, but I love them for all. My shoes is all tore up, my toes are sticking out. If I don't get some corn whiskey, I'm going up this bout. Jack a diamond, right away from old. Rob my poor pockets of silver and gold. I'll beat on the counter, I'll make the glass ring. More brandy, more brandy, more brandy to bring. My shoes is all tore up, my toes are sticking out. If I don't get some corn whiskey, I'm going up the spout. Gonna eat when I'm hungry, gonna drink when I'm dry. To get the feeling much better, I'm gonna sprout wings and fly. Jack a diamond, I know you from old. Rob my poor pockets of silver and gold. If the ocean was whiskey and I was a duck, I'd dive to the bottom, Lord, and never come up. The ocean not whiskey, nor I ain't no duck. Just play the drunk hiccups and trust to my luck.
This next group is in the forefront of the revival of old-time music in this country, and they provided us with the title song for our series. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, please greet the Red Clay Ramblers.
Thank you. We're glad to see you here, too. You said we were from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is true. That's close to where we live. But I was born in West Virginia, and this is... I thought maybe there'd be some people from West Virginia here tonight. Anyhow, we're going to start off with a song that sort of in a traditional vein, but it's a song that our fiddler wrote. Our fiddler over there is Bill Hicks, by the way, on the far end. Mike Craver there in the checkered shirt with the guitar in his hand. Mike Craver. This is right here next to me is little Jimmy Watson. Way back there in the back on the bass fiddle is the newest Red Clay Rambler, and his name is, let's see, what is, oh, Jack Herrick. He's only been with us about a week. I can't ever remember who he is. Anyhow, this is a song now that Bill wrote called The Hobo's Last Letter.
While walking one day down the Bowery, drinking without any care, I happened upon a common old bum who'd fallen down 3 flights of stairs. His coat was all ragged and tattered, the hair was white on his head. He gave me a letter with his dying breath, and these were the words that it said.
I was standing on a streetcar back in Frisco, waiting for the light to change from red to green, when a thought came through my head about the time we went to bed underneath the western stars of Abilene. You know, a lot of things get hazy when you wander. The days go by like boxcars in the night, but someday I know I'll find just a little peace of mind, and when I do, I'll find you to make it right.
I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and the roosters singing wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning, dear, for good.
It's 20 years ago that bus pulled out for Denver. We were standing in the station holding hands. Then we finally said goodbye, and I stood and watched you cry, and I asked myself how you could understand. No, I've been a lot of places since that Sunday, and some things I've done just don't mean a thing. But one thing I know is true, Lord, I'll get back home to you. This old bird can't live forever on the wing.
I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and the roosters singing wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning, dear, for good.
Some things are just too personal to tell, and I gave it to the cop who was standing at the top of the stairs where that poor old woman fell. He hadn't had the time to put her name upon it, and his hand had shook so bad his name was blurred, but it looked a lot like mine, so I'm calling you this time to say I'll be home in the morning, dear, for good.
I'll be home in the morning when the sun is coming up, and the roosters singing wake up to 1,000 buttercups. There'll be pigs in the pen and turkeys in the woods. I'll be home in the morning, dear, for good.
Thank you.
Right, we're going to do one now that Tommy wrote. Matt, he said earlier he grew up in West Virginia, and I guess he has a few memories of it. He can remember all the way back to when he was 10 years old. And he lived in West Virginia until he was 12 or 13. So there's about 2 years in there that he remembers something. And
Remember what time dinner was?
obviously. This is a song he wrote about some of the impressions that he had back then and still has about West Virginia. It's called Where the Twisted Laurel Grows.
Just across the Blue Ridge, where the high meadows lay, and the gay light spreads through the new mown hay. There's a rusty iron bridge across the shady ravine, where the hard road ends and turns to clay.
With a suitcase in his hand, well, a lonesome boy stands, gazing at the river sliding by beneath his feet. But the dark water spraying from the
the black rocks and flows, out of sight where the twisted laurel grows. Past the cold tip of town, in the cold December rain, into Charleston runs the new river train, where the hillsides are brown and the broad valleys stained by 100,000 lives of work and pain.
In a tar paper shack, out of town, across the track, stands an old used-up man trying to call something back.
But his old memories fade like the city in the haze, and his days have flowed together like the rain. And the dark waters spring from the black rocks and flows, out of sight where the twisted laurel grows.
This program made possible in part by a grant from the Rockefeller Foundation.